And we are now looking at the live picture of the Chinese president walking off the airplane as he arrives at the Laos capital. All right, we are seeing actually a delegation coming off the plane right now, and they are expected to be quite busy during the visit to Vientiane, that's the capital of Laos. A lot of cooperation deals are likely to be signed, of course. And now let's get to our studio guest now, Mr. Li Yong. Li Yong is a senior fellow at the China Association of International Trade. And now let's talk about the China-Laos cooperation. Mr. Li, great to have you on the show with us. We know the two countries are traditionally have a tradition of friendship for a long time. So tell us, first of all, how do you think the two economies could be complementary to each other?
Yeah, this is really a very good question, because Laos has been labeled by the United Nations as the least developed countries. They are in terms of their development, they are still in a very, very primitive stage as compared with other countries, even compared with Vietnam. But recently, the economic growth has been very fast, and now they are having a kind of a contradiction between, for example, the backward infrastructure, as well as the fast growing economy. So they, the cooperation in the past few years, have been centered on, helping the infrastructure construction in Laos. For example, the railways, very recently water plant, which is designed to resolve the problem of water shortage in the capital city of Laos.
Also.
Hydropower, power is very interesting.
Yes.
That is really associated with the strategy, with Laos' strategy, because they consider them to be a land-blocked country, but their future development is going to target a land-connected country. So in which, in their strategy, they just wanted to become, as their positioning in the region is to become the battery of so-called the central southern region of that area. So there will be, as you have mentioned earlier, there will be a lot of cooperation, which are complementary, in nature. Basically, of course, China has the demand, for example, of the green agriculture products, and Laos has become one of the most important tourist destinations of China.
Yes.
There are a lot really for the two sides to work together. Especially, the current condition of the country provides a lot of space for cooperation, and even a lot of space for imagination, in the future, how we can really shape a better life and better environment, for the two countries to work together to develop the country's economy.
Well, let's talk about China's Belt and Road Initiative. Of course, that is benefiting countries along the road, including neighboring Asian countries with China, including Laos and Vietnam. Now, what are the new growth points, new opportunities in this initiative do you foresee?
Yes, I think, each of the countries, they have their own development initiatives. As I mentioned earlier, Laos has an initiative of, turning the country into land-blocked country into a land-connected, and in terms of Vietnam, they have the so-called, two corridors and one economic belt. In our country, we call it, we translate it in Chinese, two corridors, one economic rings. But basically, those are actually the growth points. If we look at the trade relations between China and Vietnam, we are now basically, we're not really talking about the trade balance issue, because it is not really as big an issue as it used to be, because the trade relations have become pretty balanced. And of course, Vietnam has become one of the fastest growing economies in the ASEAN, and it will keep that growing trend. And they are also planning to, for example, to move up the value chain, and they are now trying to diversify, their industries.
Taking advantage of China's growth strategy. They can find new opportunities
ICT area. So in the future, with Vietnam, probably more high tech. I think that would be the nature of the trade relations and, of course, economic relations.
Very interesting.
Yes,
very
like
interesting.
Financial cooperation.
Yes, we're going to get to that
e-payment.
actually in just
Really?
a minute. Mr. Leung,
All
please
right.
stay with us. We're going to get to financial cooperation with Vietnam in just a minute. But right now, let's cross over to our reporter, Ryan Meltzer, who is standing by live from Vientiane, Laos. Hi there, Ryan. Tell us, what kind of trade and investment ties do China